Well, hey there. All right, so ukulele part 2. I got a little bit of dragon fever with that last haul that I did, and decided that I kind of didn't really want to make another walnut ukulele. So I'll show you why. I mean, it's gonna be kind of hands down. So hold on just a second. Let me grab wood. All right. This is the walnut. It's pretty. It's got some nice book matching on it. Here's the other piece. Outline with the hole marked out for the sound hole. That's cool. It's got some cool factor to it. That's what I did on the last ukulele. It's got some nice attributes to it. Now let me show you what I'm thinking I'm gonna have to do though. This, you can kind of see some of the curl on it just rippling down through this. No, that is not saw marks. I mean, some of it is. That's saw marks right there. But the rest of that curl, that's sanded smooth. That's smooth as a touch. So this was what I picked. Some of the wood that I picked up at that hole. Shout out to Phil, man. You had some wonderful wood, man. So I picked it up while I could, and I'm going to use some of it. You know, that curl versus, sorry, but I mean, I'm going with the curl. I mean, look at the sides on this thing. Where did I put my sides at? Look at the sides on this thing, though. I mean, you tell me. Just look at that book match. Just right down the middle. It's got that same curl. It's out of the same piece of wood. I just got done milling it to thickness. And once I saw the difference, like I said, it's just kind of, that walnut, it ain't cutting it. It ain't getting there. I also decided for a different wood for the top. I better pick this up because I ain't just going to pitch that walnut. You guys think I'm crazy. I ain't that crazy. Look at this. That's that redwood from the haul. And it's just fresh off my thickness sander. And this is the one that I said was going to be noisy. I mean, yeah, I'm alright with that. I'm totally okay with that. So, I've already gone ahead and done a lot of sanding. I've done a joint to the edges so that they are smooth. You guys can eventually expect another video from me showing how that process works, because it is a little bit of an interesting process. We didn't ever get to cover joining the top pieces together. So, as you can see, they're separate pieces. Same thing for this curly maple. Separate pieces. So, I'm going to adjust the camera, get you guys in, and I'll do some glue up so that you guys can actually see how it glues up. And then we're going to go ahead and bend the sides of the ukulele. I'm going to turn on the iron now so that hopefully it'll be hot by the time that we have the glue set up for this top and bottom. And then see what we can do. All right, catch you guys in a few minutes. All right, guys, so this is my jig. Kind of showed it off last time. Basically what you're going to do is you've got your board marked out. I put a triangle on it just so that I know the orientation and which side is the face. So I always mark the face, and then that way I don't have to worry about remembering and line it up. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and flip it on its back. I'm going to put a little bit of duct tape on it. Actually, it's going to be painter's tape. And then I'm going to flip it over, apply some glue to the sides, or to the back of it, real nice and tight. I don't know why I just pulled off such a small piece. There we go. And then, because the real clamping force is going to come from the jig, But that's just going to hold it up. I don't put the glue directly on the sides. I put it on my finger. Some people prefer to use brushes and all that other nonsense. That's what paper towels are for. All you're doing is looking for a nice even coat. Relatively thick, you don't want to go crazy with it, but you want a nice even coat of glue all throughout the joint. And now, honestly, I'm pretty much done with that. Okay. Now, if you're wondering why there's so much painter's tape on my jig itself, it's because it doesn't stick to the glue, so it's just a nice little trick to get yourself set up. There we go. Nice even pressure all along the seams. And if you want to do yourself a favor, grab some of the painter's tape, put it along the line, and that's what's going to go over top of your seam. The reason why I do that, like I said, is because painter's tape doesn't really glue very well to glue. So, put this caul on here, and I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but in the background I've got my iron running, and it's getting good and hot. So that's done. That's ready to roll. And let's go ahead and move this camera a little bit and get you guys in view of the bending process. Alright guys, I've got my forms ready. I took them apart so that I could go ahead and do the test fitting. I like to test fit as I go. I've got my wood. I went ahead and got some of it wet so that it's ready to go. This is currently at 302 degrees. So it is plenty hot. So funny enough, I saw this on a YouTube video, but I don't remember who did it. But they said to keep from, so the hip is the most important part whenever you bend it, because that's the curve so each curve you're wrapping around the surface, right? And it's touching this hot surface. Well, this hot surface has a chance to burn the wood. And if you burn the outside of the wood, then guess what? Everybody's going to be able to see the burn. So, I saw on a YouTube video, they used like a wet rag or something like that. And I'll just go ahead and run this under water, or I'll just keep on doing this. Get it nice and moist. But you used a wet rag in front of the piece to keep it from getting scorched. So I'm going to try that out, see what happens. Because this is a white wood, it's going to show. The burn. I'm going to try to burn right about here. I think that's about plenty of space for either way. So. And for the hip on this, I've learned through the last testing video that about 90 degrees is what you're shooting for. So until this naturally stays at a 90-degree angle, I'm just going to keep on heating it up and flipping it, and heating it up and flipping it. Watch your curves. Make sure that you're not burning the house down. This is hot. Okay. We've got a slight curve. I'm having a hard time keeping this one straight. It's wanting to twist on me as I bend it. Okay, now for the upper bout. What I'm going to do actually before I do that, I should have done this before I started bending, is I'm going to mark where I put the center on this on the other piece. And now that's where the other hip is going to go. So, nice and hot, right where the middle line is. Good deal. And bend. Guys, if this is oddly satisfying to watch, you're just getting a taste of how satisfying it is to do in person, man. Oh man, this is the coolest thing. You guys a quick taste of what it's looking like already. Getting there. So one thing that I'm noticing is that it's dropping in temperature. So look at the difference between A and B. This is the first one, this is the second one. And what you can tell immediately is that the second one didn't keep its shape quite as fast as the first one did, and that's because in that amount of time, all that water has cooled this down by about 150 degrees. So right now I'm at 242 degrees, which means I'm getting close, but a minute ago whenever I scanned it, it was only at 150. So that's something that I'm starting to realize. And also I'm realizing another thing that I really liked that I didn't do on this one was I didn't bend the back, like put the heat on the back. For some reason that seems to really help. So There we go. There we go. That's significantly better. Okay. Now we can go ahead and bend the second one. That didn't even think about bending. Well, that was not cool. I was bending, and I guess I didn't have it quite wet enough, and I put too much pressure on it too fast, or something happened. I'm not 100% sure. You can see the curl in it now. Man, that's unfortunate. So, I've got another set going. I've already got these wet and soaking. I decided to soak the entire thing this time. Hopefully that gets it a little bit more forgiving. But, you know, you can't get through life without learning a few hard lessons. Well, guys, my phone died. So I got through the bending before I realized that the phone was dead. And I guess we'll go ahead and give you guys a quick show of the sides that are bent in the form. And then we'll go ahead and mark out the shape of the body, and then we'll go ahead and call this an episode. All right, give me a second. I'll go ahead and turn around the camera. Okay. So I put it in the form. It's intentionally bigger than the form. This way, what I can do is I can actually trim it down and get it lined up a little bit better. As you can see, there's a small crack right here. It is superficial. It's not all the way through. So I'm going to sand it down so that all that fuzz right there is gone, because I don't want that to start buzzing or crack any further. So I'm going to sand that out whenever this dries. But basically I'm just going to leave this in the form overnight, trim these two down to size, and then glue the blocks on, and that'll be ready. That's a body basically. So I've got the top. The glue's not really cured yet, but it is dry enough to be able to be handled without it falling apart. I just can't be, working on it hard until the next day or tomorrow or the next day. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay out the shape of the uke real fast and get that lined up. There's the back of it. Yeah, get the shape of the uke lined up, and then we'll follow up on the next video and do some cutting of the profile of the uke real fast, and then drill the sound hole, glue in the kerfing, and start shaping the neck if we've got the time. So give me a second. I'll grab the holder, get it lined up here. So and there's the top. Line up. And there you go. You can see this curl much better in this lighting. That's why I bought that wood. Right there. It is going to be absolutely breathtaking. And the sides have got the same thing, so that's going to be wonderful. So that's 2 ukuleles and some sides. Anyway, guys, sorry that I couldn't quite show you all the bending. That actually is really fun to do. If you guys ever do decide to take up trying one out, I would probably recommend a ukulele first. From what I've been experiencing so far, it's already pretty daggum hard. And it only gets harder the bigger you get, because there's a lot more moving parts. Not really moving parts, but if you're off by, you know, a millimeter or two on a ukulele, it's such a small scale that it's not going to throw everything off by a mile. But on a guitar, if you're off by a little bit, you know, it's going to have to travel the length of that neck, so you might be only off a 64th at one end, and you'll see it as an 1/8 of an inch on the other end because of how much it moves. So, you know, it's definitely good practice. I'm learning a lot from it. That's been my goal this whole time, is to learn from the ukulele, do 2 or 3 of them or something like that, and get to the point where it starts making sense to me, you know, learn from my mistakes of the cracks and the one that broke on me, stuff like that, and then you know, eventually get to the point where I'm making a guitar, and that's going to be the real goal right now, at least, is to make 1 or 2 guitars, one for me personally, and then, you know, if I can sell 1 or 2, that'd be cool too. But anyway, guys, stay tuned for the outro, and thanks for watching. Bye. Do you guys have a project that you're excited to work on? Leave a comment down below. I'd like to hear about it. Otherwise, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.